So now that we got the start of the Reaper quest taken care of, we'll go through and we'll do... get on with the MSQ. Alpha Noah awaits the arrival of the Guardian and Envoy. The Envoy is here. I think you receiving me at such short notice. Time is of the essence, so I would forego the usual pleasantries if I may. Certainly. You come with news of the Dravanians? Aye, the dragons have begun their attack in earnest. The first wave reached the Central Highlands a short while ago, and battle was joined soon thereafter. Sir Imaric himself sailed forth with a contingent of the Temple Knights and several companies of the noble house's finest. The beasts were ultimately forced into retreat. Our victory, if such it may be called, came at the cost of many of our own. Too many. We will not withstand a second wave should the Dravanians renew their assault. You paint a grim picture, my lady. It is reinforcements you seek, then? We do, though it pricks our pride. It is plain we cannot protect Ishgard with our ranks thus thinned by the Horde. Sir Imaric would not meet with you to discuss the possibility of enlisting your aid. Very well, I shall depart for Coerthus at once. I must warn you, however, that the involvement of the Crystal Braves is by no means assured. Our commitment to quelling the unrest in Ulda must take precedence. It is with such contingencies in mind that I must make another request. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn are known for sharing close ties with all three of the grand companies of Eorzea. Would you consent to plead our case to their leaders? Though I will gladly appeal to the grand companies on your behalf, I dare not promise a favorable reply. You need say no more. Considering our past dealings with the Eorzean Alliance, I can well imagine how our plea will be received. But the fate of Ishgard hangs in the balance. We must explore every avenue still open to us, no matter how unpromising. I see. Very well. I shall send envoys to each of the allied nations and have them present your request directly to the heads of the grand companies. In the event that your plea does receive a favorable answer, know that any support is certain to be conditional. Demands will be made of Ishgard. That is only to be expected. Rest assured that I speak with Sir Imaric's authority in this matter, and that our actions are fully sanctioned by the Holy See. Which brings me to my final request, a personal appeal to you, Warrior of Light. The Lord Commander much desires to speak with you, regardless of your fellow's involvement. You faced Midgard's Stormer and survived. Anything you can share of your experience may yield us an advantage over our foe. Thank you. You wear the mantle of hero well. 'Twould seem the road leads us both to Camp Dragonhead. Seek me out when you arrive.
The sons must answer for their father's misdeeds. Only then will the cycle be broken. Brothers and sisters of the heavens, we raise our voices and join you in the chorus. The sinner's feeble magics are undone. Come, claim your retribution.
Let's see. There we go. So we need teleport to. Wait, wrong way. This way. Seems I was the swifter illusion. You too, however, have arrived with time to spare, but for our host is yet to make an appearance. The murmurings about camp tells of some manner of trouble at the gates of judgment. In the Lord Commander's absence, I suggest we visit the place and find out what is afoot. Yeah, they're about to attack the bridge, or, well, the gate of judgment, which is a giant bridge. Not really, I mean, there's gates on it, but I really wouldn't call it a gate. I mean, it's really just more a bridge. See what I mean? Bridge. Gates of Judgment are much more than mere doors. They are the outermost layer of Ishgard's magical wards. If our first line of defense can be so easily shattered. When I laid eyes upon Lady Iceheart, I felt the marrow freeze within my bones. Heretics come! How dare they meddle with our divine protections! I shall rid our nation of their blasphemy, even if it means cutting them down one by one. We need not fret over much. There are yet several layers of arcane protection that shield the city from invasion. Mother will be fine. Twould seem the heretic struck the first and most telling blow against Ishgard. Signs we expect you at Camp Dragonhead. My apologies. We chanced to hear that there had been some trouble at the gates and thought it prudent to investigate the cause. Then you have learned the heretic's treachery. Lady Iceheart led a force of her followers against our defenders and came close enough to dispel the first of our wards. But let's speak more of this back at the camp. Sir America waits you. Very well. Lead the way. Ahoy! whole 2,000 experience. Woohoo! Alphino seems eager to return to Camp Dragonhead. Lady Arceta has grown bold indeed if she would risk direct action against the city. Come, let us do as we were bid and return to Camp Dragonhead. "'Tis reassuring indeed to behold the countenance of a friend when one's homeland teeters upon the very brink of disaster. Though a single misstep could send us plunging into the abyss, your heroic presence stokes the flames of courage within my heart. But you did not come to Dragonhead to listen to my prattling. The Lord Commander has arrived and would treat with you in the intercessory." I can't jump over the table, son of a... "I thank you for coming with such haste and apologize for my absence. Suffice to say, Lady Iceheart and her heretics have much to answer for." "Yes, we are but a recent return from the gates of judgment ourselves. Given the circumstances, we quite understand if you would prefer to postpone our appointed audience." "On the contrary, Master Alpha, no, I think it more important than ever that this meeting take place. Rest assured I shall return to my post on Ishgard's walls the moment our business is concluded." Before we move on to the subject of reinforcements, however, I would introduce you to a close and stalwart ally, Estinian. May I present to you Ishgard's Azure Dragoon. An impressive title, though I confess I know precious little of the Order of Dragoons. They are formidable warriors all, yet even among such masters of the lance, Estinian is without equal. He, out of all the warriors of Ishgard, were chosen to yield the power of dragons and may thus contend with any Dravanian. You flatter me overmuch, Lord Commander. So you are the adventurer whom they spoke. I see now why my blood fair sang in anticipation of our meeting. Well, now that we have all been introduced, let us proceed to the matter at hand. I would share with you what we have learned of Iceheart's design, as confessed by the heretics taken captive after the assault on the gates. It would seem that Lady Iceheart and the Dravanians share a common goal: the reclamation of Nidhogg's stolen eye. Nidhogg, one of the 7 great worms. His name features prominently in your nation's history, though once defeated by the hero Haldrath. The beast is said to have terrorized Coerthas since Ishgard's founding. Aye, many are the scars our walls bear from Nidhogg's relentless efforts to raise the city. The trophy Haldrath plucked from the bested worm's skull, known simply as the Eye, is a treasured relic of Ishgard and one possessed of untold power. Should it ever be returned to Nidhogg, the dread creature would be restored to the height of his strength, and then no wall or ward we could erect would be stout enough to deny him. My venerable son hath waged war against Ishgard for 1,000 years. No mortal mind could comprehend the depths of his rancor. The eye itself is secreted deep within the vault. It is kept under heavy guard, surrounded at all times by men and women who have proven their loyalty to the Holy See. But though stout walls and sharp blades may suffice to discourage the heretics, the dragons are another matter. They are individuals within the Dravanian horde whom an entire company of knights would labor to repel, to say nothing of Nidhogg himself. Nor does age rob them of their strength. Through the endless march of years, the dragons endure, patient, calculating, inexorable. You must understand these creatures do not share our perception of time. And that is especially true of the great worms, they who spend centuries in slumber, only to wake and resume their campaigns as if mere hours had passed. It has been 20 years since Nidhogg last darkened our skies, 20 years for him to gather his strength, and for us to bolster our defenses, and now, just as he seems primed to return, the heretics strike at the gates. You believe that Lady Iceheart is in league with the creature, then? Of that we cannot be certain, though we know that the heretics covet the eye, and we have been unable to determine their plans for it. Such questions aside, we must needs address the ragged hole their mistress has been seen fit to rend in Ishgard's protections. 'Tis a weakness the Dravanians are not like to leave untested. So it would seem you have described your plight in admirable detail, Lord Commander, yet I cannot help but wonder, at your candor, why share such sensitive information with us? Well, I mean, they'd be hoping probably to get some sort of help. Is my best guess. I shall speak plain. Ishgard has need of allies, and I would have you bolster her front lines in readiness for the coming battle against the dragons. This much I expected. Unlike our arrangement concerning the Keeper of the Lake, however, only you stand to benefit from our assistance in this matter. I fail to see why we should intervene in such conflict which concerns only Ishgard and Dravania. When the Orsian Alliance requested Ishgard's assistance during Operation Archon, you refused us. Does it not seem grossly unjust to demand that we now risk our lives in your private war? I make no attempt to defend my country's conduct. I only ask that you consider what would follow were Ishgard to fail. Or fall, I should say. Having razed our city to the ground, the Horde would have little cause to linger, and would return to their lairs in Dravania. Soon thereafter, the ruins of Coerthas would be buried in snow, and they would become the sole province of beasts and beastmen. Until the Garlean's arrival, that is, for you may not be certain that the Empire would not hesitate to claim Coerthas. They would not even have to draw steel. An imperial province sharing a border with Mordona, 7 hells. Very well. We will assist you in repelling the dragons. The roar of a great worm may have shaken the firmament, but we have yours. You will not abandon our Ishgarden brothers to face the coming horde alone. Nor did I ever think that you would. Now, upon the matter of the roar, allow me, Sir Imeric. Through the power of the Eye, I have become the vessel of Nidhogg's strength. His essence has stolen into my very blood. Fear not, I am in full control of my faculties, I assure you, and the Eye itself is of no relevance to this tale. It is not essential that I bear it with me wheresoever I go. Its lingering influence does, however, allow me to hear Nidhogg's voice. Then the worm who roared was Nidhogg. He means to hurl his horde against Danafin's collar and shatter the remaining wards that protect the city. There can be no doubt the worm has summoned his minions to war. Though the circumstances are far from ideal, this desperate endeavor will at least provide us an opportunity to bring the sister states of Eorzea together in common cause. Sir Imeric was more ruthless in his negotiations than I had anticipated. I suppose one must give no quarter when one's home is at stake. But did you see the look on his face when he formally requested our assistance? The Lord Commander has long campaigned for Ishgard to open its gates to outsiders. I suspect this softening of the Holy See's attitude towards foreign cooperation comes as something of bittersweet victory. The days ahead promise to be interesting indeed. Ready to begin making preparations for war. If we are to aid the Ishgardians in this war of theirs, preparations will have to be made, and soon. Before proceeding, however, we must needs return to rising stones and I report the antecedent. Son of a bitch! Can we seriously? Can't we just call her on the stupid link show and not have to keep doing this? I mean, seriously?
Alphino, it is good to see you. Tell me, what have you learned?
Pray summon the others. Everyone must hear my report.
So this was all but a taste of what's to come.
Indeed. The main host advances upon Ishgard as we speak.
Whose vaunted defenses have been nullified.
Shorn of its wards, the city will bear the full force of Nidhogg's fury. all those people.
Alphino is right. The Dravanians cannot be allowed to prevail. If Ishgard falls, all of Eorzea will suffer the consequences.
Then you agree that we have no choice but to intervene. For the good of the realm, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn and the Crystal Braves must join the defense of Ishgard.
Let there be no ambiguity about what has been proposed. We would be directly intervening in the war. But if all here believe the cause to be just, then to war we shall go. The path we now embark upon is perilous, but I pray you will walk with us to the end.
Not that I really have much of a choice in that.
For those we have lost, for those we can yet save.
Then it is settled. I shall inform the Council of our intentions and request that they contribute their own forces to the defense of Ishgard.
Scheming. Scheming is afoot. Volunteer Dragon Slayers would have you assist with the preparations being made for the defense of Ishgard. I have bid the Archons travel to their assigned nations. Should the members of the Alliance agree to pledge the Grand Company's soldiers to Ishgard's cause, our Carmens will be on hand to act as intermediaries for the duration of the conflict. The small matter of persuading the Alliance leaders to grant such support I leave to Alphino. For you, my friend, a different task awaits. I would have you reach out to your fellow adventurers and gather what allies you may for the coming siege. I'd also have you consider the matter of your own security. Revenant's Toll is but a short flight from the snowfields Querthus. It is not unimaginable that the fighting may spill across the border. Pray, brief Slaffborn on the brewing conflict and discuss potential contingencies. The frontier settlers must be prepared for aught that might wing its way over our walls. I only hope that such precautions prove unnecessary. Before you leave, Mike suggests that you have Tataru accompany you. She has a talent for administration and a firm grasp of the practical challenges you may encounter. We are rather close to Gorthus, aren't we? We'd best see to our own defenses and take stock of our supplies. And we'll also need to have beds and bandages laid out just in case. A good receptionist is ready for any eventuality. Let's go. I have 101 things to discuss with Slaffborn. Oh, I wasn't even fully equipped with stuff for... I mean, that would certainly help. I mean, granted, not the greatest look. Though, almost very much reminds me of, Crow's look from Bloodborne. Just need the crow mask. I appreciate the warning. If war is coming towards us, then the toll must be made ready. I'm increasing the number of patrols and lookouts immediately. I'll also see about finding room for an infirmary, as well as temporary housing for victims of the conflict. Ishgard has done well by us in the past, and I would return the favor. But as for rounding up volunteers for the fighting itself, I'm afraid I must disappoint you. I will not send in my fellow guildmates to die on Ishgardian soil, and I'm certain headquarters will say the same. There will be no official Adventurers Guild presence at the siege. That said, each adventurer is of course free to do as he or she will. I shall have word with some of my more capable colleagues on your behalf. You might try your luck here in Revenant Soul. I dare say there are a few stout souls about town who will answer your call to arms. Let's get started, shall we? We have a town to rouse. Spare me your talk of glory and fame. I'm not in the habit of volunteering for lost causes. After this long by trusting my instincts, and my instincts tell me to stay well away from Ishgard. Ishgard sounds like she's in the right mess, but that ain't what I want to talk to you about. I need you to cast your mind back to that scuffle with the Empire out by the process plant. A little lad from Little Alamigo by the name of Wilbert was there with the Fourth that day, and I want to know if you've seen him since. Have you? Godsend, I fear as much. No one's bloody seen him. It's like the ground opened up and swallowed him whole. But that ain't all. Around the time Willard stopped turning up for duty, them black market weapons went missing from our vault in Ulda. So now, of course, half the Braves suspect the lad of making off with the goods. Folk like to believe our company's disciplined fighting force, but as you both know, it's no more than a motley collection of mercenaries, adventurers, and Grand Company veterans. The only thing that binds us together is some vague oath about fighting for the freedom of all. That's that and the steady pay. Now, compared to most others in the crew, Wilbur is a fresh-faced novice, a bleating whelp among wolves. But the boy's got passion. When he talked about being a guardian of Eorzea, he bloody well meant it. A lad like him wouldn't rob us blind and bugger off like that. He ain't the type. And then, and this is just between you and me, mind, there's the fact that the lad wanted to tell me about something queer he'd noticed in the ledger, something about the Braves' numbers not adding up. Aye, there's a villain at the end of this trail I stumble on, and bet me good eye ain't young Wilred. Anyway, we've got a war to wage, so I'll let you get on. I just thought someone should know. I'll be seeing you around. So, Ishgard seeks the self source to bolster its ranks, eh? Then I'm not sure I like the sound of the siege. Those nobles will surely be generous with their rewards. But I pledge myself to guard Revenant's toll. Modest work though it is, I am loath to break the terms of my contract. What to do, what to do. Sadly it doesn't look like it came out with any Magitech gear for... Yeah. Oh well. Was worth the look. Some of the masterwork weapons for some of the classes I think were best. Volunteer my services in defense of Ishgard? I think not. Dragons claim the lives of every one of my brothers. I do not mean to offer them mine. 'Twas to escape such fate that I took up the mantle of adventurer in the first place. I'd sooner die in the pursuit of fortune than huddled behind an icy wall. Sell me blade to the Ishgardians? Well, them dragons are a fearsome lot, but I'd slay me a fair share if the coin was good. I've worked for one of them knights before, you know. Watched me like a bloody hawk he did. Still, I'd put up with worse than that for a heavy purse. So odd not seeing a belt any longer on. There you are. Did you sway any hearts? No, not really, doesn't seem like. One or two, well, add to mine that makes 3 or 4, not including Slaffborn's friends. We won't have the largest company in the army, but I'd say one Remnant's Toll veteran is worth a dozen clanking knights at least. Tataru has a message from me from Alphino. Oh, I've been caught up with recruiting that I almost forgot. There's been a word from Alphino. Apparently, the Alliance leaders are convening in Ulda to discuss Ishgard's plight, and they've requested your presence as usual. Anyway, you'd best make your way to Ulda, and you'll be late. Alphino said that he would meet you on the Royal Promenade. Let's see. Ethernet. Oh, this looks pretty cool, actually. Being able to get a map of it now. You get a better idea of where you're going. Going is pretty nice, actually. My apologies for calling you away from your task. I hope to proceed with these negotiations one leader at a time. But it seems my urgent requests for an audience have prompted a gathering of the council. Needless to say, I felt obliged to attend. The alliance leaders are already settled within. Let us join them, shall we?
We are well aware of Ishgard's dilemma, and we agree with your assessment.
Then I trust there are no objections to the Crystal Braves' intervention.
Uldar has none.
Gridania does not object.
The Crystal Braves are yours to command, Alphino. Do what you will. We shall pray for your success.
It was my hope that you would offer more substantial aid than prayer. I know it is within your means.
Do not presume that you have knowledge of our every concern. The Garleans and the Beast Tribes are but two of many. We are not in a position to contribute greatly to the defense of Ishgard, not when our own homes are still under siege.
We dare not leave our interests in Cartano undefended as well. Telegi Adalegi and his ilk would seize control of the territories in our absence.
The enemy is at their gates, and you would cower behind yours?
Yep, that's what it sounds like they're doing.
No one is cowering, boy. We will offer what support we can.
Aye, support. A handful of men and no more.
Would that we could commit more than a token force to this cause. Yet there are others to whom you might turn. The free companies ever want for work.
Ah, yes. The free companies. They're not like to turn you down.
I beg your pardon? You would entrust the survival of Ishgard to sell swords? Crises like these are the very reason why this alliance was formed. It is our duty to aid our fellow man.
My duty is to my country and my people. If you expect us to place the welfare of a foreign power above our own, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Lest you doubt, Limsa comes first, then the Alliance, and finally, circumstances permitting, Ishgard and the rest. If you cannot understand so simple a concept, then you have no place at this table.
I mean, she does have a bit of a point, but so does he.
Forgive me, Admiral. I was careless in my choice of words.
I suggest you assemble a party of elite adventurers, assuming you haven't already. Your fellows served us well during Operation Archon. I dare say they will do so again. If I may, Your Grace, I wish to propose a redistribution of forces. If we entrust the security of Uldar to the Brass Blades for a time, we can dispatch a larger force to Ishgard. Your Grace?
Yes. Yes, of course. Do what you will.
Is Her Grace not feeling well?
To the best of my knowledge, Her Grace is in perfect health.
I see. Carry on.
Okay, speak with Alphino now. Once again, I owe you an apology. It seems you have been scripted into leading contingent adventurers on yet another mission of inestimable danger. But I fear we have been left with little alternative. We cannot well abandon Lord Haltrunch and Sir Marek to their fate. We must abide by the Council's decision, as short-sighted as it is, and strive to fulfill our roles as the Orzia's guardians. Captain Oberd, what news? Then the assault has begun. We have but this moment concluded our audience with the Alliance leaders. Move our forces in position. Your unit will join House Jorndare at the Steel Vigil. Man the cannons alongside the knights within the Dravanian hordes. Ere they descend upon Ishgard, I will join you as soon as I am able. I would have you and your adventure allies bolster your defenses at the steps of faith. Report first to Sir Marcelin at the Gates of Judgment, and he will direct you to where you are needed most. May the gods grant us victory. Excuse me. You are the appointed captain of the sellsword contingent? Then welcome. There is no shortage of blade work to be done. As we speak, Dravanian skirmishing parties are harrying positions across the Central Highlands. I have assigned this Crystal Braves and your fellow adventurers contain these scattered attacks, and for the present, I would have you join them. This is, of course, merely a precursor to the assault on Ishgard proper. The wily serpents seek to divide and confuse our forces, but we will not be so easily drawn out of position. Report back to me once the advanced skirmishers are slain. Oh, you guys mean to get involved as well? Well, sucks to be you guys. I completely screwed up that rotation entirely. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, you. What news, adventurer? The reinforcements decimated, you say? Dravanian devils, damn their scaly hides. Hold fast your grief and fury, my lady. We will avenge the deaths of your fellows in the battle to come. Wish to prepare you for the siege of Ishgard. Ere you commit yourself to the siege, you should know that what it is you are tasked with defending. Beyond the gates of judgment lie the steps of faith, a great bridge of stone that leads directly to the city of Ishgard. More than simply a means to cross the Sea of Clouds, the bridge serves as a foundation for the arcane wards that form the barrier we call Danafin's Collar. Alas, in dispelling the bridge's outermost layer, that thrice-damned witch Iceheart stripped the bridge of its protection, and thus are the dragons now able to land unhindered upon the steps of faith. Should the Dravanians succeed in destroying the remainder of the wards, the winged devils will be free to swarm within the city itself. They say we cannot suffer for that to happen. It shall be our task as defenders from any harm from coming to these parts of the bridge, wherein the wards are sealed. All now rests on us, adventurer. Lead your comrades out into the steps of faith and prepare to meet the horde. May the fury guide your blades. Okay, the steps of faith now accessible. Let's see. CC, classes, jobs. Oh, I did get a level off that. I was like, wait a minute, why did it not look like I got a level or any experience? And it's like, oh, wait, I did. It just didn't show up very well. Oh wait, there's a fate down there in the corner. Oh well, never mind. I need to get out of that and ooh, he big. got stunned. Oh yeah, I forgot about the cannons being a thing. Oh, there's already someone up there. Okay. I don't want to cross that until it's like let him do his thing. There we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. dragons, they are withdrawing. Victory is ours! One of Nidhogg's greatest champions slain, the Horde will not soon recover from this blow. But what of you, Nidhogg? Why did you not join your minions and make of this battle slaughter? Have you grown so fond of the stench of your lair? Maybe you prefer to have your allies fight your battles for you. You have a girl to do your bidding now, do you not? No matter, I shall slay Iceheart and all the rest. But I yearn to spill the blood of a great warrior, Nidhogg, and only your death shall sate my lance. The dragons are routed, lest you wonder. The fighting at the Steel Vigil was also fierce, but my crystal braves were not found wanting. Commander Lavallee, Illusion, true to your word, you arrived to aid us in our hour of need. On behalf of the Holy See and the people of Ishgard, I offer you my humble thanks. Though I would stay and lavish you with well-deserved praise, I fear I must away to oversee the aftermath of the siege. Not all the dragons are fled, and there are yet wounded to be carried from the field. Pray let us meet anon, and that I might express my thanks with the proper courtesy. I too would offer my thanks, though through your deeds we have achieved a victory of singular importance. With the Dravanian horde thus weakened and scattered, the threat to Ishgard has been greatly diminished. And mayhap equally significant, the Holy See must now recognize the necessity of cooperation with foreign powers. Long have they barred their gates against the outside world, but I am confident that the day will soon come when Ishgard proclaims itself a member of the Orsian Alliance once more. Much have we sacrificed in our struggles against dragons and primals, the Ascians and the Empire, but step by unfaltering step we march ever nearer to our goal. And as ever, the journey is made with you in the van. The victory you have won this day gives us a greater hope for the morrow. 'Tis a hope that shall sustain us in the days to come and bear us past the many evils that yet seek to hinder our progress. Yes, we have done well, my friend. I, for one, would take a moment to savor the enormity of our achievement. Demands of duty, however, allow me little time for levity. I must accompany Captain Ilbert back to Ulda and reassign those braves whose squad suffered heavy losses. You, my friend, have earned a rest at the Rising Stones. Pray return to Remnant's Soul and share your tale with Minfilia in person. Back to the Rising Stones. Usually just be told, hey, I need you to go over here. Usually don't even stay in the Rising Stones for very long. Welcome back. Elfno sent word of the siege and, of course, the role you played in ending it. Your deeds never cease to amaze me. Thank you. Yeah, I guess. Seems loath to put you into further trouble so soon after your last great exertion. You must be weary, and now you may very well be your only chance to antecedent. A messenger for Ulda arrived with a message for you. The royal seal? Curious indeed. Ah, an invitation. On behalf of the Council of the Orisian Alliance, Her Royal Majesty Nanamo Ulnamo invites the Scions of Southdawn to attend a feast at the Royal Palace of Ulda in honor of Ishgard's recent victory. It would seem we are to be recognized for our part in lifting the siege, you for your valiant efforts as commander of the adventurers contingent, and the Archons for their earnest attempts to rouse the city-states. Truly, I find it strange that the Alliance leaders should think themselves deserving of a place at such a celebration. All three refused to deploy their standing armies, preferring to send hastily assembled companies of sellswords, many of whom perished ere the siege began. Are they truly so brazen as to seek to share in the glory of your triumph? Ah, but mayhap they simply seek a pretext to meet with the Ishgardians while the mood is yet jubilant. Such an occasion would present a fine opportunity to press for Ishgar's return to the Orsian Alliance. Sigh. We have scarce had time to mourn, Moanbreed, and I for one am in no mood to carouse, but I suppose we must put away our grief for the good of the realm. Though you were promised rest, I fear I must insist that you also attend. It would be the strange celebration indeed if the victorious hero was not present. Pray content yourself with the thought that such occasions may bring about momentous change, and thus without recourse to bloodshed. If you would do me the favor of contacting the rest of the Scions? Of course. And please let me know if there's anything else I can do. Curious, I've never known Notaro to decide such requests. Could that be mess? Yeah, all kinds of things seem amiss with this. Yes, Ataru, you have my undivided attention. I'm hesitant to approach the subject, what with all the recent excitement, but illusion made me realize that there's no time like the present, and time was what I'm here to ask you for. I'm not sure I understand. If you wish to be excused from your duties for a time, then you have certainly earned the rest. But I suspect that lying abed is far from your intent. You know me too well, Instinct. There is in fact something I've been wanting to try my hand at. Along with the adventurers in the Crystal Rays, the Scions are constantly being thrown into dangerous battles and deadly predicaments. Even Hori Boulder and Kelton have been promoted from guard duty to fill our need for competent warriors. And so it seems only right that I too should require the power to defend myself and others. More importantly, when I return, I shall be both your receptionist and your bodyguard. I don't see this going well, but okay. Whoa, hey. That's the first time I've almost been knocked to the ground by a Lalafell. I've never seen Miss Taro so determined. Has aught befell with which I might help, antecedent? Ah, not at present, thank you. Was there something you would ask of me? Oh yes, pray excuse my distraction. An adventurer who was to join us for this court duty was injured while out on patrol. And I fear we cannot properly defend the scholars and trust our protection without the aid of at least one more guard. Therefore, I humbly request that another adventurer of the capable kind, of course, be assigned to our party. Very well, I shall consider the potential candidates and provide you with a replacement as soon as I am able. My thanks, Antecedent. I take my leave of you. No unexpected ambition. The power to defend oneself? Tataru has ever been full of surprises. Now I think on it, I do recall Orange mentioning that she had developed an interest in Arcanima. Maybe she hopes to gain the admittance the Arcana skill in Limsa Lominsa. Yes, that shall be the way of it. Would you be so kind as to journey to the guild and see that all is well? It is doubtless unwarranted, but surely I am not alone in my concern for her safety. Now, teleport. Limsa Lominsa. Away! This is probably going to take a while to load, it seems like. The Arcanist Guild, if I remember correctly, is just down this way. Must be downstairs. What are you doing here? I didn't mean for her to worry. That's the last thing I wanted. Putting an end to such worries is precisely the reason I'm here. Don't you see? Shall become a great and powerful arcanist. And now, at Mistress Zubergrim's behest, I must go and complete a special training exercise. Until we meet again. Greetings and welcome to the Arcanist Guild. Do you require assistance? So you are acquainted with our newest member. I am sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but I fear young Taru may not be ideally suited to the study of Arcanima. Nevertheless, she would not be denied and goes now to undertake her first trial, a simulated inspection of 3 crates. A simple task, some might say, but one all Arcanists are expected to complete. A thought occurs to me. Why not supervise Taru's training? Why? You are clearly an accomplished adventurer, given your relationship with the girl. She's an ideal person to have on hand. Her trial will be conducted at the cliff side of Zephyr Gate. You need only observe at a distance. Over Azure Seas to Pirate's Port, where she met her shining jewel. For to bring the smuggler's plans to naught came the lass whom none could fool. Beat him with a backdraft, gut him with a gust, deck him with a downburst. Go, Carbuncle, go. Oh, are those crates I spy? On this must be the true test, but we're ready for them, aren't we, Carbuncle? Carbuncle? I should have known you'd come. You didn't say a word. Your face is all. I know you are bore witness to my shame. Betrayed by my own carbuncle and left at the mercy of wild beasts. I must accept the truth. I'll never be a warrior like you or the others. I will inform to my intention to withdraw from the guild. Arcanima, like so much else, is beyond me. Back so soon? How fared our fledgling arcanist? Abysmally, as illusion will testify. I was wrong to become an arcanist, wrong as usual. I'm completely and utterly unqualified, and I sincerely apologize for wasting your time. If that were true, I would not permit you to join in the first place. We must all come to accept our limitations, lest our ambitions lead us astray. However, we must not lose sight of our strength in the process. For example, your exceptional skill with numbers helped you to gain a solid grasp of the fundamentals of Arcanima. Were it not so, you would have struggled even to summon Carbuncle to your side. In my opinion, the Scions are truly fortunate to have such capable and good-natured receptionists in their service. Would you not agree? You are too kind. Though I could not overcome this challenge, I shall take your words to heart and try not to be discouraged. Consider her next course of action, how you might aid her in it. As fetching as those garments are, I fear I shall never don them again. But I can't go back to the Rising Stars without something to show for my time away. Wait, I know what I can do. That is, if you don't mind accompanying me for a little longer. Wonderful, then to Costa del Sol we will go. It's a bit of a gamble, but I'm confident it will pay off. Yes, this is it. This is where the man at the drowning winch told me to look. There's a certain variety of clam which can be harvested this time of year in Bloodshore, one which produces the most marvelous pearls. However, these clams are also covered by certain wild creatures, and since I fared rather poorly in the battle last time, let us be off. Well, fortunate, I've already found one. Would you be so kind as to keep watch while I work? This should only take a moment. Well fought, well fought. I knew I was right to ask you to come. As for me, I have of my prize a bounty of blood pearls. So named for the reddish hue, they were treasured as wards against dark magics in ancient times. Thought I might make charms for everyone so that no matter where they go, they will always come home. Sort of power to defend myself and other people in a way, right? Well, I mustn't keep people waiting. There's work to be done, lots of it. We're to scare provisions for the scions and the laments and markets. She may have an eye for quality, but I have a nose for bargains. Will you be heading back to the Rising Stones? If so, pray convey my apologies to Sandy and tell her that she needn't worry about me. Farewell, and thank you for everything. That sounded rather final, didn't it? How about until we meet again? Back to the Rising Stones we go. Welcome home. I gather you found Tataru and Limsa Lamensa. My, it sounds as though she had quite an adventure. And while it did not end as she had hoped, I suspect that it will prove to be a valuable experience. I dare say she could have managed without our intervention. Even so, I appreciate your indulging my request. Where we are needed, assigning you with a mixture of regret and desperation. I wonder, do you perchance recall the commitment I made to furnish Hori Boulder with a capable adventurer? Well, I'm sorry to say that I have as yet been unable to do so. Now, I realize that you are rather more than a capable adventurer and that the escort duty is frankly beneath a woman of your talents, but I have no one else to turn to at the present. Might you be willing to forego rest and assist in this matter? Generous to a fault, I thank you. Now, it seems only fair that I explain the import of the task in question. For some time, our order has employed a handful of scholars to travel around Eorzea taking etheric readings that we might better understand the impact of primal summonings. Naturally, it behooves us to ensure our employees' safety, and so we ask the adventurers in our service to serve as escorts. Hori Boulder and Kotna were to act as two such escorts, as was the third adventurer. Alas, hence my need to impose upon your goodwill. You truly are a pillar of strength. Hori Boulder will share you with the details of your task. He should be waiting for you outside. Be safe. Is it true that you agreed to lend us a hand? Huzzah. What did I tell you, Courtney? Our misfortune has become a blessing, an opportunity to serve alongside the Warrior of Light herself. May I remind you that we have 3 scholars to escort, each of whom will take a different route. True, but our mission is the same. Separate realms we may be, but in spirit we shall be together. If such thoughts bring you joy, you are welcome to think them. To more practical concerns, we should have you attend to the scholar charged with surveying the South Shroud. He's waiting in Camp Tranquils as we speak. All you need to do is follow the man. He will determine the most appropriate locations to take his readings. At last, the Scion's woman deigns to grace me with her presence. A pity that we have no time for pleasantries. Our first destination is Issamhara. Come, we are late enough as it is. Yes, this location should suffice. Once I finish calibrating my instruments, I will require but a moment to take a necessary measurement. I trust I need not explain my work, and that my work can suffer no interruptions. Then please stand at an appropriate distance. Keep watch for wild beasts. I see, we both completed our respective tasks. A satisfactory outcome, though. If I can make one suggestion, you might try to dispatch your foes more quietly in future. I don't like to pick fault, but I really must be allowed to concentrate. Now then, snake modal weights, shall we? Right, about here, yes. As before, I would ask that you keep an eye out for dangerous beasts as I work. Fascinating, this is not at all what I expected. Though perhaps this should come as no surprise, I am not given to superstition, but there is a queer, almost blasphemous air hereabouts. Let's quit this place and return to Roots Lake. We have one more site to survey. As before, my guardian, pray leave me to my task and ensure our safety. This tale should prove invaluable to ye gods. What is that stench? Did you slaughter a creep of adamantoses while my back was turned? Clearly not. Camp Tranquil. I will not have my clothing reeking of blood and offal. You chose to paddle in the Ichor while longer, I take it? No matter, I took advantage of my unexpected privacy and performed a cursory analysis of my data. I fear that there's been a measurable decrease in the Orzia's ambient aether concentration since the calamity. However, this data is far from conclusive. We must take additional measurements to confirm my assessment. Who better to serve the signs of Seventh Dawn than a humble scholar and his faithful assistant? For our next survey, I would have you escort me to Earth's font. The ambient aether concentrations there are so high that crystalline structures form spontaneously. Consequently, anonymous fluctuations should be much easier to detect. Brilliant, yes? No, no, don't bother answering. This was rhetorical. Now come along. You should be more than familiar with the procedure by now. Pray find a suitable position from which to keep watch while I take measurements. Yes, quite high yet. Still remarkably low in the historical measurements taken near the end of the 6th Astral Era. Could the presence of a primal account for the difference, or is there something else, something amiss? Something else. Come here, I need you. Fear not, my friends, help has arrived. There you are. Hor and I were worried when you and your charge failed to return at the appointed hour. Gutted like a hog, but not by one. No, these wounds were made by the blade. Doesn't look like he put up much of a fight either. Nary a mark on his sword or his shield. Heard nothing of any Chris Brave operations in this area. What caused his Wilred to come here? What should we do? Let's do this color's protection illusion. Aye, and the boys' remains. Each return to the Rising Stones. The Indecent will want to know what happened here. And so do I. You are returned and you seem troubled. Did the role of escort chief so? Wilbur dead, mayhap murdered by the 12. How can that be? I will send word to Alphino at once. He will want to conduct a full investigation. Send word to Wilbur and his family. Gods, he was just a boy. Who would do this and why? But I'm sorry, Illusion. Doubtless this weighs heavy on your heart. And we have already imposed upon you so much. Pray take some time for yourself. I dare say you have more than earned a respite. After all, we will be most busy with preparations at the banquet as the banquet draws near. Should other adventurers summon you elsewhere, perhaps now is the time to heed their call. Now, so we gotta start the Crystal Tower stories here.